brand new show. You shouldn't judge it based on its prior iteration. It's totally new, totally different. We have Nintendo's gonna be there, Sony's gonna be there, everyone's showing up. It's gonna be like Smash Brothers Ultimate. Everybody's here. You know, you don't seem very convinced by the pitch. No, okay, I tried. If I can't convince a skeptic like you, I'm probably not convincing anybody anyway. So, gonna have to work on my pitch for that one. E4 may not be a thing after all. I don't got much to show for my week. I did get 2 new games though.
Oh,
I did.
good.
I finally got me a copy of Metroid Prime Physical because I kind of wanted a physical copy. This was a bitch and a half to get my hands on though, because people are assholes and they scalp the shit out of it.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Because of course they did.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they? They announced a brand new Zelda OLED Switch. I have no interest in it. I have no interest in the console. But the first thing that came to my mind was, when does this thing come
So
out?
obviously go on eBay and let's see what they fetch, huh?
Oh, it's either eBay or Facebook. The day it comes out, there's going to be like 5 or 6 already on there the morning it releases, because these people were already in line, ready to buy them, and then ready to sell them.
And I mean, I get what I think I get what they were trying with the Joy-Con design, but the left Joy-Con does not look good.
Does it? Is it different? I didn't look at it that closely.
It kind of looks like the color rubs off the further you go down.
You mean like the?
I guess it's kind of like they wanted to be like a, I don't know, it's a kind of circuit or whatever that design is supposed to be. Or with the new mechanic that they have, I don't know, or was it from? Must have been from somewhere in the game, that design, the pattern.
I'm looking at it now. Okay.
Yeah. It kind of, I don't know. Doesn't work for me.
If I was more of a Zelda person, I probably would like this. This looks really nice. I think it looks nice, at least. I like the gold, the gold overall coloring with the overlay. I think that looks kind of sick, but I'm not enough of a Zelda fan. But you can also say I might not be enough of a Splatoon fan, but I own that one. But I also thought the Splatoon one looked really good to begin with. I like the paint aesthetic. I like the random shots of paint and everything.
Yeah.
I thought that by itself looked...
I mean, the dock itself looks
a little bit.
right.
Looks a little busy for my taste. Little busy.
Maybe
busy.
a little.
I wouldn't...
But I don't know. The left Joy-Con doesn't really work for me. The right one maybe, but I don't know. It doesn't work that well on the small area.
Yeah, it doesn't have enough.
If you have it not on the, if you have it like that, I don't know.
Yeah, like it's cool. Like it's decent. I think I'm more happy to see Nintendo taking chances with these more intricate design switches that we've kind of been seeing now, from like the Splatoon to the Pokemon to this one. We're not just seeing just a Switch with just like slightly changed Joy-Cons or whatever. They're actually putting in some reasonable effort to make these special edition Switches look.
Yeah, it's not just one straight color or something. That's
they're putting in like a decent amount of effort. So our personal aesthetic choices aside, I will pat them on the back reasonably and say, not for me, but honestly, if I had to have a complaint, I don't know. I don't think I like the gold front, white back. I feel like it should just be like one color. But I feel like that might have been, or maybe a different like color white. I just feel like they're going to straight white. And I don't know if that really works as much for Zelda as it does for like other. But I guess it kind of works out because half the Joy-Con on one side has the white design, so they're already establishing that white is a part of it, and like the dock is mostly fucking white with gold on it, so white obviously plays a role in its overall coloring. So again,
Yeah.
personal aesthetic choices aside, that's just me.
Yeah, one problem with the dock, I, d- I mean, it looks decent, but I think a problem with it is that it's very dependent on the lighting. Because
Yeah,
most of the pictures I'm seeing, it doesn't show the complete thing. It's just
I think that's
it,
intentional though,
it's
because I
just
think it's supposed to
overblown.
be. I think it's supposed to be faded though, because
Huh.
that's kind of like a big part of the game, isn't it? Like the world's kind of falling apart. The world isn't what it used to be.
I don't.
Maybe I'm reading it.
I'm not
Maybe
sure
I'm giving them
because
too much credit. I might be giving them too much
some of,
credit.
because with some of the pictures I'm seeing the complete middle part, for example, but
Really?
the
Okay.
whole but in some pictures I'm seeing the top left being a bit overblown. So I'm guessing that's the lighting.
Yeah, they must have really overdone the lighting on this picture. Then I'm on the Nintendo store site looking at the shots from
Hmm.
that, and yeah, they really overblew the lighting. Okay. Anyways, the other game I picked up, which I wasn't
Hmm.
aware had a physical release, but I played it on
Hmm.
Xbox 360, was
Uh-huh.
Record of Argus War.
Ah,
It was a game I played on
yes.
360, and I was like, "Oh, it's on
Hmm.
Switch now? Oh, cool,
Interesting. Hmm.
cool. I guess I'll try. I guess I'll grab that while I'm at it. Might as well.
Hmm.
What's another RPG in the fucking works for me to play when I'm at work? I don't have anything else better to do with my life. God knows I don't have enough things to play as it is. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. If we took all the gameplay hours that my games have to offer, and the average life expectancy of a young black man in America, I think, and I can't claim this easily, CD. I
Hmm.
think I might be hitting the point where I'm 1-to-1, where like by the time I finish my collection, I should either die the same day or like shortly after. I think I'm almost there. We're almost to the
Hmm.
point where I should die roughly put at the same time, which
Hmm.
is which is poetic. I'm kind of for it.
Sounds like a setup for a comedy movie.
Ooh. Shit, I shouldn't have said that on the pod. I want to bleep that shit out. I gotta. I don't know who's gonna fucking. I don't know who I'm gonna pitch it to, but I'll have to find somebody to pitch that shit to.
Just as
Fucking.
long as it's not Seth Rogen.
I was actually about to say I'll pitch it to Seth Rogen. Because I feel like he might be the only one that might actually take it. Maybe I could try like Quentin Tarantino, but I don't really know if that
But with that one, it would be a less comedic ending for you, I think.
Yeah, I'm getting shot. I either get shot or hit by a car. That's the only way that movie ends. That movie does not end well for its protagonists. Not often.
Mm,
I think the only one who walked away unscathed as a protagonist is like Django Unchained. I
yeah. And
yeah,
there
because
it was one of the two protagonists, but yeah.
he
Yeah,
walked
he
away
did.
unscathed. He walked away
Mm,
mostly unscathed. His
yeah,
partner in crime. Me and my wife still
not
argue
so much.
about. Me and my wife still
Hmm.
argue about the dentist though. We do because she
Hmm.
fully believes the dentist was in the wrong for having an ego so inflated that she couldn't just shake the guy's hand. Like to her, she's
Hmm.
like, that is ridiculous. Just shake his hand and leave. I'm like,
Hmm.
babe, he couldn't. She's like, what do you mean you can't just shake his hand and leave? You don't have to die for this. And I'm like, you know what?
Well,
We all got a hill. You know, we all have a hill we fight on. You know, and
everyone has their own personal convictions.
yeah, and I have my own hill. I have to die on, CD. You know, it's not a.
Hmm.
I'm not proud of it, but
Yeah.
here I am dying on my
Mm.
hill by myself. It's fine. I'm almost done with Chrono Trigger. Almost.
Mhm.
nearing the end of that journey. A fun journey,
Mhm.
an interesting journey, but a journey nonetheless. So that'll
Mhm.
be cool. Not sure when I'll finally finish Persona 5 though. That's we're n- we're nearing almost 100 hours now. We're slowly inching 100 hours and I
Mhm.
haven't even finished the base game yet. Yeah. Yeah. This was
Mhm.
I chose this. This was my idea. So I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to live with that. That's on me. Anyways, that's all I got for you this week, CD. That's what I've been up to. Like it
Mm.
or not, here we are.
Yeah, for me, it hasn't been all that much. I've mostly been casually playing a title that I haven't picked up for a while. And I haven't really looked into all that much previously, but at one point there was an update on Steam where they added multiplayer, and that apparently made the player numbers rise quite a bit. And I decided, let's see how far this one has gone. It's Last Epoch. It's one of the action RPGs, like hack and slash titles, similar to Diablo. That's currently still in beta or early access, I think, in on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
And that one is pretty neat. There have been a few others that weren't that great, but that one so far pretty neat. I've been mainly trying out the Necromancer there, and yeah, I currently have, I think, a troop of around 12 to 15 skeletons of varying kinds, and need be, I can summon temporary wraiths. That's quite neat. Quite a
Dope.
few pets to quite a nice army to attack the enemies with. And this one has some nice differences to the usual stuff like the skill trees and all. In this one, it's for one, you unlock the your regular skills by level, a few of them. Then you have your it's kind of passive skill tree for each class that gives you mainly percentage bonuses in different areas, but those also give you additional level points that you need to unlock specific skills, which are which you get at around 5 and then 10, and then later on you get your additional active skills that you can choose, but you can only have 5 at any one time active at active in your
Hmm.
skill
Okay.
in your skill list. And then additionally, you can have a few specialized skills out of those, which means you, after a few levels, you get your first specialized skill slot where you can choose any one of your unlocked skills and then unlock additional nodes in that skill,
Nice.
depending on how much XP that skill has collected, which you just get those XP by defeating enemies. And that, after, I think, at the beginning you have one, then you get another at level 5, at level 10, and level. My last one was at level 35, and then on level 50, I think I got the last one. So I think it's altogether 5 slots for that, which is quite nice that you can do that. And if you realize that you don't want to use a specific skill anymore and want to replace it with a different one, you have to level that one from the beginning again, but at certain spots you get space levels. So for example, after a few levels, your base skill level is 2, so you can, if you switch a skill, you get 2 skill points for that one already. so you don't have to start completely from blank again on that skill.
Okay.
Just a decent booster, and up to level 10 or something of the skill, you get the skills get increased XP amounts, so they level up a bit faster. Which is neat.
Dope.
And inside each of those skills specializations, you can go in different directions. Like, for example, with the wraiths, I could. The default is I can summon as about four of them, I think. They are temporarily there. They continually lose HP until they have none and disappear, but they automatically attack enemies in the area. And they're decently powerful.
Huh. Okay. Okay.
And some things that you can do is at first they appear right next to you and then go to the enemy. One of the unlocks is they appear where you summon them. So you point your mouse close to an enemy, select Summons Wraith, and then they appear there, which makes that a bit quicker to attack. Then there's other variants that you could choose instead. That, for example, one is the wraiths don't lose HP anymore, but you only get 2 of them at most. Or you get a pretty significant increase in attack, but they can't move anymore. So they're essentially towers that you put down, and they attack all the enemies in their vicinity. And then there's a few different types of wraiths that you can unlock. Like you have your standard wraith, then you can get a flame wraith or poisonous wraith, which 2 different types of damage, but that gets randomly selected after each summon. And other skills have a different kinds of specializations as well, similar to that. So that's that makes it pretty interesting. And one thing that made me at first think a bit, okay, this has a bit of a Chrono Trigger dot in there, because you can choose different time periods where you can go to. So it's essentially you're in your main map, then you start your quest, you find something, and then you get teleported into a different time by a time rift. And then you have to unlock your waypoints there before you can return. And you gradually unlock different places. And some of the maps are the same area, but in different times, which isn't used all that much, but it's used in a few quests. Like there's one where you have to enter a barracks, but it's sealed. The entry is closed. You have to have some sort of emblem or something to say, okay, I am part of this group. So what do? You go into the future, go into the same area. There's a skeleton. It has an emblem. You take the emblem and go back.
Yeah, I was gonna
and then
say
you show the emblem. Here, I am part of you. So
yeah, I was about to say you're either gonna go back, or you're gonna go forward.
Yeah, it's nothing revolutionary, but it's a neat touch to the whole thing.
Yeah, I like it. I dig it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's been my main gaming for the week.
So I have 3 stories. I have 2 stories that we already agreed on, and then I have another story that is old. It's from February, but I didn't get a chance to talk to you about it. And it's streamer related, and you know me. You know. Anytime I break, I love streamer content. I love it. I would never want to be one, but whenever I have a chance to talk about something streaming related, I don't turn that shit down. So I'll save that one last.
To speed running and the grading stuff and all.
I'm a man of many interests. I think honestly that's my best quality is I'm a man of many interests. But some people's hiding. Shit. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, The Last of Us. I did not
Mm-hmm.
know. Okay, so I did not know this was getting a PC port. I was not connected
Oh,
on
okay.
this. I did not. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
fuck. I did not realize I was getting a PC port. Did not know,
Ah.
wasn't aware, didn't care.
Uh-huh.
So, as you can imagine my surprise, when the internet blows the fuck up about a PC port, my first thought is, the fuck? What the fuck you mean a PC port? That's a PlayStation exclusive. Get the fuck out of here.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I got a PC port, apparently. Um, Whew, it's a port. It's definitely
Yeah, it's a port, all right.
it's definitely a PC port. Woo, woo, boy, so,
Mm-hmm.
hot dog. It's something special. It's something special. It's a PC port,
Mm-hmm.
all right. So this game drops, and I want to talk about a couple of different reactions. So one of the channels I watch does a series called Before You Buy. It's usually
Mm-hmm.
within the first day or so after the game comes out. It's not really a review. It's just sort of it's a first impressions. Like it's a first
Mm-hmm.
impressions of the game. And I genuinely find these videos to be pretty good. They're they're
Okay.
straightforward. You know, they they tell you up front what you're getting when you're watching it. It's a first impressions with some gameplay, and we give you our opening thoughts about what we've experienced.
Mm-hmm.
And oh boy, oh boy, they had a pretty beefy rig for this game,
Uh-huh.
and it did not go well for them. You want to know what else didn't go well for them? Because there's this new little handheld called the Steam Deck that is now expected to be tested now in
Mm-hmm.
game reviews. I would honestly be surprised. I would be super surprised if we don't start seeing Steam Deck being listed in a review as far as how a game
Mm-hmm.
runs. I think that should be a thing. I feel like
Yeah.
that should factor into a game,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Would make
But
sense, yes.
but at the same time, with the game as badly optimized as this shit was, spoiler
Mm-hmm.
alert: the game didn't boot. In fact, on video, he showed it. The game hard crashed his Steam Deck twice.
Well,
Hard
that's a
crash
good
that
start.
hard crash that shit. So the game comes out, and this game
Steam
is
Deck said, no, you don't want this.
yeah. The Steam Deck is like, nope, absolutely not, nope. Game comes out, and this game is a busted, buggy, fucking
Mm-hmm.
broken ass video game. Now, to the credit, I don't know if I should say to the credit of the game, to the credit of Naughty, to the credit of just people being patient, but
Mm-hmm.
the game went from having a mostly negative review on Steam to now being mixed. I think that mix comes from a patch or a hotfix or something that Naughty Dog has released since the release of the game. They put
Mm-hmm.
out like a patch or something to start addressing issues, and that brought it to that brought it up to mix. But oh god, they got work to do. This game is busted as fuck.
Yeah. Iron Galaxy did not send their best.
The thing is, like, Iron Galaxy's done good stuff. Like, they've
Mm-hmm.
done good stuff. They were part of they did the second half of all the work for Killer Instinct on Xbox because it was somebody else that was they the first half or second half. I think it was Microsoft
Probably the
Studios.
second.
I think it was Microsoft Studios who did the first half, and then Iron Galaxy took over. I feel like it was I know Iron Galaxy did one of the two halves.
Yeah, because Double Helix was the ones
Yeah,
that started it.
Double
They did the
Helix.
first season, and Iron Galaxy did seasons 2 and 3.
Yeah, so like
Mm-hmm.
like they're not terrible,
Hmm.
but you wouldn't know it based off of this. You wouldn't know it. This game came out and was a fucking nightmare PC port.
You know what else they ported?
Oh god. What else?
I'll give you one positive,
Uh-huh.
which is Metroid Prime Remastered,
Oh, okay.
and the other one
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Batman Arkham Knight.
Uh-oh.
That port.
Ooh.
The infamous Arkham Knight port.
Ooh. Ooh, that's spicy.
Yeah. I think it's more the Arkham Knight people that were responsible for the Last of Us port, less than the Metroid Prime remastered versions.
Yeah. Ugh, that's unfortunate. I got that game on PC for free, and I still bought myself the PS4 version of that game. I bought a video card.
Did you
and
even
that
try it out on PC?
Okay, so funny story. The game comes out, and I'm hanging out with some of my friends that night. So I go to their place. I play it over at their place, right? And the game is fantastic. So I get home.
So on the PlayStation.
Yeah,
there.
I get home and I'm like, you know what? I don't feel like waiting for this shit to install on PS4 because I had it on PS4 because I had already paid for. I wasn't planning on getting it for free with my graphics card. So I'm like, fuck it, I'll just play it on PC. One, the game is locked at 30 and not 60, unlike the PS4 that runs at 60. And yes, you can definitely you can see it and feel it. It's noticeable. Just the game just felt.
It might have been locked, but did it reach the 30 is the other question. Because from what I remember, probably not.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, it was not a fun experience. Wouldn't recommend. So yeah, there you go. Naughty Dog released a statement saying the Last of Us Part 1 PC players, we know some of you are not have not experienced the Naughty Dog quality you expected. Our team is working hard. Yeah, so, like it's a minority. Yeah, like
That's
only like
the phrasing you're going with, Naughty Dog, eh?
Dude, okay. bro, if you spun any harder, you'd knock us back in time like 25 years. The amount of spin in that statement is actually, like, that gave me whiplash. Our team is working hard to resolve the issues currently preventing some of you from experiencing the game to ensure it reaches the quality level you expect and deserve. A hot fix addressing jittering on mouse-controlled camera movement, some crashes, and more for The Last of Us Part 1 is slated for Tuesday. A larger patch with additional fix will be deployed later this week. We also encourage you are using NVIDIA, AMD. Oh, you're using the latest NVIDIA, AMD, and Intel graphics
drivers. Update your drivers, essentially.
Yeah. I'll be honest, and I'm being a little jaded here. I have never really seen a bad release somehow get fixed with the new drivers for the NVIDIA.
Not something this bad, no.
Because, like, the drivers are created by, like, NVIDIA. Okay, so I don't understand how this process works, right? So, okay, so you're NVIDIA, right? And you release drivers when these big games come out.
Yeah.
Am I to assume that these drivers are tailored specifically to the game, or they just have, like, general things
They have parts tailored to the games, yes.
Okay.
They do make specific optimizations.
So when the game is still bad.
When the game is still bad, in spite of the optimizations, yeah, that's a problem. And yeah, drivers can have quite a significant impact there. For example, Forza Horizon 4 has had an issue there for some time now. Since a specific update, for quite a few people, it freezes after 20 to 30 minutes. Hard. And that's been going on for several updates now. Yeah, that's not a good thing. And you can roll back to a specific driver version, but for one, that obviously prevents you from having the optimal experience for newer games. And that driver is also not compatible to the newest cards.
Damn.
Yeah.
Like, here's what I don't get. about
Mm-hmm.
these bad PC ports, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
like they delayed this game from what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
This game was delayed by a reasonable amount of time. It wasn't like 1 or 2 weeks. It was like a handful of months. Like months delayed, wasn't it? This was delayed. This did not come
I
out.
I think that wasn't the PC port that was delayed though, was it? I think.
I'll look it up,
I
but
think the delay was I think the delay was originally the PlayStation 5 version, I think.
Naughty Dog has to delay the release. Here
Oh
it is.
no,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
PC port was delayed by 3 weeks.
Oh, only 3 weeks? Okay,
Yeah,
never mind. Never mind. That it wasn't enough
yeah.
for them to actually do anything, anyways.
Nah.
I thought it was a
Although
substantial delay.
although it's funny that they say, yeah, we're delaying this by 3 weeks for extra polish, but then they bring it out like this. So, good job.
Yeah, 3 weeks, bro.
Mm-hmm.
If you're delaying it by 3 weeks, it ain't to fix shit.
Nope.
Yeah, you ain't fixing shit.
You're
I
fixing maybe small bugs, but
Yeah,
nothing serious.
but like, what kills me is like, I get that like quality testing is a joke,
Mm-hmm.
a really weird fucking joke
Mm-hmm.
amongst the whole gaming space. But if your game runs this poorly on PC,
Mm.
and okay, I can either assume one of two things. Either A, they knew the game
Mm-hmm.
ran poorly, or B, all the PC rigs at the Naughty Dog headquarters were magical and they ran the game perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, CD, I'm not a gambling man,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like the odds of it being the second one, I feel like I'd have to buy a lotto ticket and then get struck by lightning. I feel like that's the only way we reconcile this.
Yeah, it's difficult because it might be a combination, depending.
they had magic. They had the
Because they
magical
had
setup.
some they had I'm not I'm not saying how I don't know how likely it is, but my guess would be that most of the test stations worked decently, and then there were a few that didn't work well, but they said, okay, we're gonna fix those after release.
Well, yeah. If you got like
But then it turned out that it's a bigger issue than they thought.
right, like if you have like 20 testing
Mm-hmm.
stations, right, and
Mm-hmm.
like 15 of them work moderately well, right? Two of
Mm-hmm.
them work flawlessly, and three of them are fucking train wrecks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
It's
always a question of, yeah, which it always depends if they, for one, if they made the testing in-house or outsourced that, which oftentimes it's outsourced if the communication there was going well, or if they did get bad feedback in terms of, yeah, this is working or this isn't working, and how the data got to them. You don't know if there was a communication breakup there, for example, which wouldn't be a surprise depending on where the outsourcing is.
yeah, yeah. Depending on where the outsourcing is, the communication breakdown wouldn't be surprising at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had secondhand, quite a few secondhand experiences with testing done, for example, in India, or development done in India. Uh, communication breakups happen very quickly there.
Damn.
And for example, because it's a very different culture, so you have to be careful how to interpret the feedback that you get.
So
And you
as
have to
of
have a close look there, for
as
example.
of
But
doing this video, as of doing this
mm-hmm.
podcast, there have been 2 patches released. Wait,
Mm-hmm.
I see
Have
two. I see two. It's listed on
Uh-huh.
the actual Steam page.
Okay.
One on Wednesday, March 29th, and then one on Thursday, March 30th. This is
Uh-huh.
according to the Steam page. So there's been at
Okay.
least two patches.
Okay, those aren't the ones that are mentioned there though, because they're the the tweet mentioned here that the hotfix and the bigger patch that's for next week, because
Okay.
this post has been made yesterday on April 1st.
Got
So
it.
let's hope
Okay.
that isn't an April Fool's.
Yeah, let's hope. Let's
Yeah,
fucking hope.
but those two patches, they're still to come. So those two patches that you're seeing, those are probably preliminary patches that's got the rating on Steam up, and yeah,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
hopefully gonna fix the
This
bigger
is
issues.
yeah, this is probably what got the rating from being mostly negative to being, you know,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
mixed. And by the
Mm-hmm.
way, in
Yeah,
case
at least mixed.
anybody's, at least if that's case anyone's curious, the mixed rating on Steam is out of 12,000 reviews. So
Quite a
it's
few. Yeah.
yeah, I don't think this is a small sample size.
Definitely not. If it's
Uh
12,000 altogether, it's around 6,000, maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more. That's negative. So yeah.
Yeah, it's 12,000 is not a small sample size.
Mm-mm,
But what I do want to
definitely
do,
not. Mm-hmm.
I don't usually do this cuz I don't
Mm-hmm.
personally like Metacritic.
Uh-huh.
Just I don't
Probably has a
find
good score there, but
it
who
has
knows?
a 56. Okay, it has a
Uh-huh.
critic review of
Uh-huh.
56. But to
Oh.
note, it only has 6 critic reviews.
Hmm. Okay, so those few actually might have rated it down due to the problems. Okay, that would be good.
It has a 56 based on the critic reviews. Who did the critic reviews? I don't recognize most of these.
Mm-hmm.
GameStar gave it a 77.
Okay, that's
Multiplayer,
probably the German one. That
yeah.
GameStar is one of our biggest German publications.
So yeah, it got a 55. I'm not gonna look. I'm gonna tell you the truth. It did not do
That's
well.
pretty low, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, and apparently going by what's been happening, that deserves it.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Good on the reviewers. Mm-hmm.
Anyways, for our next story, CD, how would you feel if you were going to
Mm-hmm.
have a birthday party when you were a kid and you invited all your friends to be there and then
Mm-hmm.
they all canceled? All of
Hmm.
them. Every single one of them canceled. And you know what? You don't know. Maybe it was malicious. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe because you had an argument with them 2 weeks prior. I don't know. I wasn't there. But they all canceled. Every fucking
Hmm.
one of them. Do you still have the party by yourself? Or do you just say, fuck it, there's no party now?
I mean, it'd probably be a mix of okay,
Well,
this
that
sucks,
yeah,
and
this is
okay, more cake for me.
yeah, this is ass. E3
Yeah.
2023 has been canceled. All right, so E3 has been a mess these last handful
Mm-hmm.
of months because
These last handful of years, honestly.
well, they haven't had a show these last handful of years, have they? Did they have a show last year?
Um,
Did they?
a digital only, I think.
It was such a non-thing. I didn't pay attention. You know I don't usually get to catch that shit
Mm-hmm.
anyways.
Yeah, sure.
I usually hear about it from you that
Yeah.
Sunday,
Let's
so
see. I'm not sure about last year. Ah, no, they did cancel it last year. Yeah, the 2021 was online. Yeah, but last year, no, there wasn't one. They did not have a virtual event last year either.
yeah, see,
Uh-huh.
the problem that E3 is having is that a lot of these bigger companies,
Mm-hmm.
your Microsoft, your Nintendos, your Sonys,
Mm-hmm.
they already have ways of connecting with their audiences and getting
Yeah.
information out without needing a physical space and having to put on a show.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo has had their Direct, and it does very well for them. They don't even need
Yep.
an E3. I mean, I'm
Mm-hmm.
sure maybe if they had like some really awesome things, they might do one anyways, or just have a section of the place to themselves for what they want to show off. But they don't
Mm-hmm.
need it. It's not
Yeah.
necessary. So
Although I think at most they'd probably do that if they have a completely new hardware release. But
yeah,
besides that, probably not.
it wouldn't be for software. They could announce software
Yeah.
themselves. They don't need all that space and all that
Mm-hmm.
headache over software. So my Nintendo has long since said they don't really
Mm-hmm.
need
Yeah.
E3.
And the
Sony's long
others also have also transitioned to having
other
the ability to have online events. Be it the Sony or the State of Play that you were about to mention, or Microsoft had one of those. EA, I think, also did them virtually once at least, and obviously, and also besides E3, the Game Awards show has been a very popular one for these publishers to put their trailers and announcements out.
yeah. So they're they
E3 has been less and less
these
important.
these companies have plenty of ways of getting their
Mm-hmm.
information out to the
Yeah.
public.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd have to make the argument: where's the
There's the benefit.
what are we getting from E3? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's the benefit
Yeah.
to E3? This isn't like it was back in like the fucking 90s when like your
Mm-hmm.
only mode of getting information out to like the press and the media was like CES. uh I guess maybe E3 was like more of a trade show back then than being like an actual internet spectacle like it is now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those kind of things. It's not the same
Mm-hmm.
thing anymore. And up until now, there haven't been a lot. Pretty much anybody who hadn't already said they weren't going to be there had been
Mm-hmm.
giant question marks that they weren't going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
But no sooner than Yang Yeah post that video about how they were mostly question marks, how E3 really was on his deathbed. E3 did the work for us and shot himself right in the dome.
Mm-hmm.
This was a difficult decision because of all the effort we and our partners put towards making this event happen, but we had to do what's right for the industry and what's right for E3. Here's the thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to be the doomsayer of things,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't really think E3's gonna like. A lot of people have said E3 probably isn't gonna make a comeback because again,
Mm-hmm.
what do these companies gain from E3?
Yeah.
What's the
Unless they do a radical change or have a really well thought out new concept for E3, this is
the
not coming back.
yeah, the traditional E3 that we've known can't exist because there's no point to it.
Yeah.
You're not
There's
gonna
no need for that.
you're not gonna convince the big three to come back at all. They have no need to. Nintendo's not gonna waste their time putting up some kind of a
Yep.
big event for this when they can
Mm-hmm.
just put together a direct on a random day during the week and that YouTube stream gets like a few million hits. So obviously
Yeah.
Nintendo doesn't need you.
And just 5 minutes after that Nintendo Direct is done, the question about when's the next Direct are already popping
Oh
up
yeah.
anyway.
Yeah,
So
it's Nintendo has its own self-generating hype machine. It's called
yeah.
Twitter.
Uh,
So I don't really like E3 has been cool, but once again,
mhm.
it's just one of those things to where what's the point? Now
It does.
that being said, what does Summer Game Fest offer? Because everyone's like the Summer Game Fest is Jeff Keighley's thing, and it seems like people are more into that than E3.
Hmm.
Is that just because Summer Games Fest isn't a physical event and it's a digital? Is that a physical event or a digital event? I don't,
That's a good question.
because I don't want to speak out. I don't want to speak out of my ass unless I absolutely have to.
It's a it's a live video game event, so I think it's physical, but it's also streamed.
So it's just one of those
Yeah.
things to where it's like everyone's like, oh well, Jeff Keighley's event will
Mm-hmm.
probably start getting more traction, but it's like, okay,
Even more.
but like, what does that offer? Like, because again, if I
Mm-hmm.
already have ways of being able to put my stuff out to the public, like, unless you're offering me something that's really 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 barrier free, unobtrusive, I don't have to go through a lot of hoops to get my content or get my promotions onto your show. I don't see what you're
Mm-hmm.
offering me. I don't really see what the benefit is. Maybe I'm not in the business, so who knows? Maybe there's some under the table handshakes that happen or something that makes this all work. Maybe this is just how the sausage is made. We're not supposed to know,
Mm-hmm.
as they say, but that's just something I kind of question is like I don't really see the purpose. Like the game awards, yeah, okay, maybe a developer will drop a trailer there. Like I can see that be like Nintendo drops
The Game
trailers at.
Awards. The Game Awards is essentially the game trailer and announcement awards.
Yeah, like the game awards
Because
fine.
the awards themselves really aren't the main focus of that
Yeah,
show.
I was about to say nobody's like watching it for the like award. I mean, I'm sure
Mm,
someone watches it for the. I
yeah,
don't want to say
a
nobody.
few, yeah, and especially those that are fans of the games that are up for Game of the Year, mainly those. But besides that, I think a majority are watching that because of the trailers and announcements.
Yeah, so that
I
is
mean, even uh, I think it was the Game Awards where Microsoft announced their next the Series X back then.
yeah, sounds about right. So yeah, like the game awards just being a place where like a dev can drop a trailer or two.
Hmm.
Okay, that like that's low enough effort. I say
Hmm.
low effort as if putting together a fucking video game trailer is an effort. My bad. Hey, man! If BioWare can create a fully bunk trailer to Anthem that has no substance in reality, I really
Hmm.
shouldn't be saying that creating a trailer is easy. I feel like I genuinely believe that after they pulled that off, all they've proven is that making a trailer is a full-time job.
Creating good trailers is definitely an art in and of itself.
Yeah, I'd say so.
That's no easy task,
Especially when the
because
game
there are
doesn't
so many trailers that are bad.
especially when the game doesn't actually exist.
Pretty much, yeah.
when the game when the game is nothing more than a few design documents on somebody's desk.
Well, there was more for Anthem there, but yeah,
Okay,
that.
fine. A couple of a handful of design docs and like some gameplay, maybe. I'll give you that.
Hmm. They had the models to make the cutscenes with, so there's that, and they could take the models and fake the gameplay
I
with
can
that.
see how uncomfortable you are defending BioWare with Anthem. I feel like you're just
Eh,
like I
I'm not
really.
defending them. It's not a defense. It's not a defense. It's the process that I'm trying to explain.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right.
Because in that short notice, you can't just make those models and render out the trailer like that. Those
Nah.
at least have to exist.
You already had to have the stuff ready for that.
Hmm.
All right.
How you combine them? That's a different question.
Yeah. How you put that. What I don't. Someone brought up a really good point. I forget
Mm-hmm.
whose trailers do it. Because one of my buddies was like,
Mm-hmm.
why do so many video games trailers choose hip hop music? I forget whose trailers it was he was referring to. But he was like, why do so many of these
Mm-hmm.
fucking companies resort to using hip hop? And I'm like,
Mm, yeah, or like that mumble rap shit that Mortal
yeah.
Kombat 11 did.
Yeah, I'm like, I really don't know
Yeah.
why they do that. I don't really have an answer for you. I'm like, because I haven't
I
heard of
think that's
most of
probably
these.
just because whoever decides it thinks it's hip or whatever. Because it's cool with the
Yeah,
kids.
it's cool with the kids with the
Eh,
K.
uh-huh.
Yeah, really works out. It's just something interesting. It's like musical choice and these kind of things are important to set the tone. And when you
Mm-hmm.
have your Mortal Kombat trailer with the background music of some like really lame mumble rap bullshit, it's like, is that the tone you really want to set for this? Because I don't think that's the tone you want to set for this.
Yeah, no, that's that doesn't really mix well.
No, it doesn't. Okay, now CD.
Mm-hmm.
Remember what I promised you at the start of this
Mm-hmm.
show? Remember?
Yes.
This might make you uncomfortable though, but this is some streamer news I wanted to talk about because this shit's fucked up.
All right.
Are all right? So,
Hit me.
there's a streamer by the name of Etrok, and one day he is streaming, and his I guess I've actually watched part of the stream in question, and he has his browser and he opens up. You know how I might have like multiple browser windows, that multiple tabs. He opens up one of his browser windows, and in that browser window there are multiple tabs of deep fake porn.
Ah, that one. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Deep fake porn. Now look, I'm not here to shame nobody for what you enjoy. It's not that. It's not the fact that it's porn. Fucking porn is porn, whatever. It's the fact that he's looking up porn, deep fake porn of other streamers that he's friends with. That's like really fucking weird. Like, yeah, like these are his friends. These are people he's worked with. These are like co-workers. Think about that for a second. These are people that he knows. He's looking up deep fake porn of his friends. Like that is some like gross shit.
Yeah. That's really weird.
Like it's so, and like this entire thing, this entire story had me fucked up because I'm like, I normally wouldn't shame somebody for porn. Normally. Right? Even being caught with porn tabs on your stream. Like, yeah, whatever. Do better next time. Not to, whatever. Shit happens.
Yeah. Pay better attention because that you're a streamer. You should know better.
Yeah, you should know better.
And he's probably not a newbie in terms of streaming.
Right. No, he's not. But he had stream tabs of deepfake porn of people he was friends with, such as QT Cinderella and a few others in question. These are people he knows, people, wives or girlfriends of people he works with. Like, yeah, like really fucking weird shit. So what really, I guess what kind of made me like really uncomfortable about this whole story is that he does an apology, right? But like his wife or girlfriend is sitting right behind him as he's doing it's so fucking weird to me. Like she's sitting there as he's apologizing, right? Like
why? Was she there when he watched that? Was she participating as well?
Like it's so weird. It's such a crazy fucking, and this entire thing sparked a conversation I had never considered about the deep fake shit. Because
whenever you hear about deep fake shit, it's like celebrities or whatever. But I had never considered.
Streamers are public figures, so kind of like celebrities.
Yeah, but I had never
different kind of, but yeah.
I had never considered the idea that there would be a guy getting off to a deep fake of his coworker's wife. Like that to me, I was like, bruh, what? Oh, that's gross. Oh, that's so weird. You can't show your face in that friend group again. You can't like, you can't show
Not
up.
after that becomes known.
Yeah, you can't show up. You can't show up to the streamer
unless it's a really specific kind of circle.
Yeah, you can't.
On average, they are probably gonna be giving you very weird looks.
Yeah, you're gonna get like strange fucking looks. Now, to be. So when I was looking up for this, I realized that he obviously took a break.
Yeah, like you do. The usual routine: apologize, take a break, come back. It's happened. I don't know how many times now.
It happens so much.
Different things, but yeah. That's the regular routine.
He has vowed to fight deep fakes, and to be.
Sure.
CD, listen.
Definitely believing you on that one.
CD, please. You're really hurting the story here when you become that cynical.
Oh yeah.
And as I was saying before, you almost fucking killed me. Ewing claimed he's been working with reporters, technologists, researchers, women affected in the month and a half since his last stream. A week after the event, the first thing I did was wire Morrison Rothman, an LA-based law firm, about $60,000 to cover any woman on Twitch who wanted to use their legal services for DMCA takedowns, reputation management. He claims saying that one of the streamers depicted in the deepfake content he was viewing was QT Cinderella, who, by the way, lambasted the fuck out of this man. Let me just say. And rightfully so. I'm gonna be real with you. That's fucking creepy. Like, that's really creepy. 'Cause, like, it's not her. It looks like it. Oh, God, that's weird. Like, had recommended the firm to all women streamers affected by Ewing's deep fake incident. I mean, I guess I don't want to, like, I guess putting some money where your mouth is cool, I guess. I guess. But, like, that doesn't change the fact that you're fucking weird.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying I'm not saying that he can't, like, I'm not saying he can't create content or do what he wants to do. I'm not saying that. I'm not. Nah, I'm saying.
I mean, that doesn't really affect the remainder of his content or whatever, but it's gonna color what kind of person he is.
Yeah, it's still...
or what kind of person he is perceived as, let's say.
So, in the comments to this Kotaku thread, someone said, I watched deepfake porn of you. Now, how can I help you get over it? What a skeevy perv. Oh, God. Oh, this is...
I mean, as long as he doesn't expect the people to just ignore it and just treat him the same, I suppose.
Yeah, I told you this story was weird. I told you. I warned you at the start. Yep.
I've heard about the story before. I was just not sure which one it would be.
Yeah, no, this was one I was like, oh, I gotta talk about this someday on the show, just because this story made me go, what the actual fuck? 'Cause, like, I got it.
Yeah, this is no comparison to the faked presidential PvP matches that have been circling
Oh,
around these last
yeah,
weeks.
yeah. I've seen those.
Mm-hmm. Those are fun. This is more creepy.
Yeah, yeah. Fucking weirdo. Like, why was your wife standing behind you when you made that apology too? Like that's the part that
Yeah,
has me.
that's another weird bit there. I haven't seen the video, but
I have. Yeah,
just
she's sitting
being
behind him.
she was just there. She didn't say anything.
No,
Just there.
yeah, she was just there, just sitting behind him while he did it. Maybe,
Huh.
maybe she was there to slap him upside the head if his apology didn't land.
Maybe maybe we didn't see the shotgun that was pointed at his back.
Yeah, we might not have. His life might have been in danger.
Maybe. What was she look? What was her look like?
I mean, all things considered, I think she just looked more annoyed.
Okay. So kind of like, why do I have to be here?
Yeah, that's the part. That's the part that has me like fucked up. So
Hey.
I'm like, why are you even?
That's really weird.
Yes, that's interesting.
Maybe as to serve as a witness of sorts.
I guess, but that's what we have video
Nice.
evidence for.
I mean, he could have chosen to delete that at some point. Who knows? But she's been there, so
He could have.
she is at least a witness of it happening.
He could have chosen
But-
He could have chosen to make sure he didn't have those windows. They didn't have those windows with the tabs
Yep.
open too. But here we are.
Yeah. And he could have chosen to not watch those deepfakes. So
Yeah,
there's
like-
that as well.
There's a
But
inception level of fucking choices he could have made that he didn't make.
yeah, this is kind of like that meme with the ever-growing domino parts. where
Yeah.
the smallest one is the watching deepfakes, and the biggest one is the apologize while your wife is on stream as well. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, about that. About that. You know, I got like a couple minutes. I'm gonna go on a quick tangent about something I've been dealing with.
Uh-huh.
So I have like friends who I will have like conversations about video games, right? And I'll be
Mhm.
like, "Oh no, you can do that in this game." I'm like, "No, you can't." I'm like, "Well, no, you can though." No, you can't. It's
Mhm.
not possible. I'm like, "No, it's possible. You can do it."
Mhm.
It's like you can't do that. Like, bro, I have video evidence of it. I can prove. That's the like no, like this is like a thing I've always thought about, right? Because
Uh-huh.
like if you think about it, we assume that like these big publication reviewers actually beat the fucking games that they play, right? We assume to some degree.
I have not assumed that for a long time.
Okay, in a perfect world, we would assume they've beaten the game.
In a perfect world, one would, but that's never been the case, realistically.
For a lot of games, no.
Yeah.
It's not the case. It's not.
It's
Can't-
never been the case that they always beat the games, especially with the longer ones. With the shorter ones, even, yeah, I wouldn't be sure.
You wouldn't
That's
be sure?
been, I wouldn't be sure if they beat the game, even if it's a shorter one. But there, the possibility at least is higher, or a higher likelihood of it
If
being beaten
If
before
I-
the review is done, because it's been like that since back in the 90s and 80s when the game magazines were more widespread. Even then, they never really completed all of the games. The shorter ones, maybe. The middle, sometimes. The longer ones, nah.
now you get
Never been the case.
you get as much as you can done and
Yeah.
hope
Because you have a whole lot of things to do.
and hope to God there isn't a paradigm shift in that fucking game,
Mhm.
right? And someone was like, well, why don't you just make like reviews, Rezo, of like video games? Like, why
Yeah.
don't you just so someone was like, well, why don't you like do like a review of a game after you beat it? I'm like, because I've beaten it. Like, I beat the game. By the end of the game, I assume y'all know my feelings about the game. I don't hide how I feel most times. I'm assuming by the end of it, you could probably figure out whether or not I'm vibing this shit or if I just want this shit to be over. Yeah, because
and condensing all that, if with a longer game, condensing all that down to a review is a whole other process.
yeah,
Because you'd have to keep notes and all during the gameplay. You'd have to pay attention to different things. That's a whole different thing.
It's one of the issues I have when people are like, it's like yeah, I could probably like review like a Final Fantasy game off the top of my head because I know 7, 8, and 9 really well, right? But then you asked me to like really condense my feelings down to something of a reasonable length. Like, about Persona 5 Royal that isn't a 4-hour documentary? Yeah, good fucking luck.
I mean,
you want me to
there's a space for long form content in terms of reviews on YouTube.
There absolutely is a space. I don't want to be in that space though. That's not a space I want to exist in.
Yeah, because that takes a whole lot of time in and of itself to make.
No, it's not that. Like, it's not.
Yeah, but it's one of the factors.
For me, not necessarily. That's not a factor I take into. It's this. Okay, so this is me being self-indulgent a little bit about myself on this one. It's this notion that I just released like a 3-hour video about a fucking video game. Like, to me personally, I have a hard time grappling with that. Like, because that feels dumb and weird to me that I would release. I know. I put 100 hours to Persona 5 beating the fucking game. Fine. We push that shit to the side. But if I made like a 4-hour fucking full-on review of Persona 5, I would not feel happy with myself. I would feel like I wasted my time, or that I was essentially put dying on a hill I didn't need to die on. The only video I'd want to make about Persona 5, and I've considered scripting it, is to the fucking people who completely either misconstrue or misunderstand a lot of the confidants. Because a lot of these
thing that happens at every Persona release, and then Twitter goes wild about the characters and all that.
The thing that happens every time Persona 4's anniversary comes up that causes me to want to smash my head against a fucking table. Like, I kind of want to make that video just debunking a handful of the things that people seem to be so attached to. Such as dating your teacher. Okay. Hear me out here. Can you date your teacher in Persona 5? Yes, you can. However, the thing nobody brings up, the thing everybody glosses over, is the fact that she turned you down twice. You have to say yes twice. You have to press her to get her to go out with you. At that point, that is not the character wanting to date wanting to date his teacher. That's you. That's all that is. That's you. That is not the character is not endorsing that. That is you. That is you wanting to date your teacher. You can sit here and put it on Ren, Akira, or whatever the fuck you want to call them. She turned you down twice. The first time, fine. Maybe you could say that's on Ren. The second time, nah, dog, that's you. You carrying that bag. That is yours. There's another character.
Like what I've recently seen a complaint about. Why don't they remove the whole dating all of them thing? because that's not in character.
Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, none of like he's a blank slate. That's the metaphor the game draws with him being able to use any persona and having multiple personas. It's literally built into the gameplay. Ren or Akira is a blank slate. So, like, why remove the dating part? Just don't date any of the characters. You don't have to date them. You don't have to. No one's making you do it. You don't get anything specifically great out of doing it anyways. So why are we so hung up on this? This seems like such a weird thing to get hung up on.
Yeah, and from what I've seen, doesn't the game also kind of punish you for that?
If you try to date more than one character, yes, the game does punish you.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, if you try to date more than one character at the same time, the game will punish you for that. But you know, as long as you're not a dishonest asshole, the game doesn't punish. But then, like, people want to claim like the teacher's a groomer because she'll date a student, right? Ignoring the fact that there is an actual there's actually a moment in a character's confidant that is way closer to being grooming than her. The fucking fortune teller asks you outright, are you into older women?
I mean, I'm not even sure if I'd already call that grooming.
It's not really that's way more illicit. That's way more illicit.
More elaborate, yeah. Grooming is more an elaborate thing where you try to convince the other part to do something that they're not really interested in
not
originally.
Really. Yeah, but because Akira's a blank slate, you can't really do much with that. So, but like that's way more like explicit than like anything the teacher's guilty of, which again has nothing to do with dating. But people want to just
because with the teacher, it's also you pressing her. You're the one on the offensive, essentially.
Yeah, because that's a choice you make. You make that choice.
And she doesn't do anything to convince you of that choice.
Yeah, she
tries in the contrast. She tries to
not
block you twice.
Yeah. She's like, you sure this is not like a great idea? Oh, okay. Yeah. Well,
she tries to dissuade you, so that's essentially the opposite of grooming.
I don't know, man. I feel like
people are weird.
People are weird, and I start to question whether they've actually like played the game.
Yeah, for one, how much they played the game, and two, how far their media literacy goes.
It's like either you played the game or you watched somebody else's video that was already
heard from someone.
Yeah, you watched a video from a creator who already had an axe to grind.
Yeah. Second-hand info at best.
And then based your opinion off of that creator who has an axe to grind.
Or if you played the game, you had a very colored lens.
Yeah, incredibly. Like, there's like one thing I do agree with. And it's like 2 scenes involving these 2 gay guys. You've probably heard about it with Persona 5. About these like 2 gay they pop up in like 2 very specific scenes. The first time they pop up, a little weird. The second time they pop up, it's still weird, but it doesn't like skeeve me out as much. But like, I don't understand why they're in this game to begin with, outside of like wanting to put Ryuji in nice clothes, wanting to put Ryuji in fashion outfits, I guess, wanting to play dress up with Ryuji. That seems to be their only fucking purpose. You only deal with them twice in the entire game. I honestly don't see why they even exist. They do nothing for the story outside of a gag, I guess?
I mean, could be worse, I suppose.
It can always be worse. It can always be worse.
Speaking of gay, that And gay and media literacy, what was just mentioned. Persona 4.
Oh,
You probably know what I'm gonna reference.
what? Kanji?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. People miss. Okay, so I know where that comes from now, and that's because the
Mm-hmm.
guy who voices kanji in English says that he
Mm-hmm.
took the reading of the character as being closeted. But
Uh-huh.
okay, that's his
Yeah, that's the
interpretation.
voice actor. Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
That's his interpretation. All right. So
Mm-hmm.
he interpreted the reading, which again, you read the script, so I don't see how you made this reading. But
Yeah.
like, okay,
Bit of a
kanji,
colored lens there as well. Mm-hmm.
kanji. All right. So here's the thing about kanji.
Mm-hmm.
Kanji enjoys sewing.
Mm-hmm.
He enjoys things that are seen as feminine, right?
Yeah,
Sewing.
that are not typically masculine. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's the point. That's the
Yeah.
whole point. Is
Yeah.
he has
It
to
goes
become
against the typical gendered stereotypes, like
but
the whole masculine feminine stereotyping, which
like
would be a
nobody
good thing.
yeah, but nobody like points out the fact that like Yosuke is an entire garbage pile of a human being. Like
Uh-huh.
an entire garbage pile of a human being. He's the kind like I'm not a bully. He's a guy I
Mhm.
would bully.
Mhm.
Like it it actually comes off as kind of like inherently like mean the way he treats kanji throughout the game, because for
Mhm.
whatever, I don't know, maybe it was the translation of it in English
Mhm.
or something along those lines. Who knows? I know that how an English interpretation of something might read a little differently than the Japanese interpretation, but
Mhm.
yeah, we're not talking about Nintendo Clubhouse doing the doing the fucking localization work. So I'm gonna go on a limb and say this is probably a little closer to the source material than
Mhm.
the other party in fucking question. It's gonna go on a fucking limb on that one. But like that's his
Mhm.
entire point. I don't okay, so why so the gay thing, it's because his shadow is like feminine,
Mhm.
right? And like I see why people make that this I see why people think that, but this
Mhm.
isn't something that this isn't like left up to interpretation because he tells you this.
Mhm.
He
Yeah.
tells you in his confidant like I enjoy these kind of things. I enjoy sewing.
Yeah.
You know, I
Mhm.
have these interests. They're not really typical interests you expect from a guy like me.
Mhm.
But that's
Yeah.
kind of my point.
Yeah. That is the point essentially. That people that I don't know. People have too much of a colored lens when looking at these things and interpreting them their way instead of
But it's not
what would be the more reasonable one.
but it's not interpretation if the character blatantly just tells you though. At that
Yeah,
point, you're being
that's the
intellectually
problem. Yeah,
dishonest.
yeah. They're just yeah. That's
that's
you,
that's
your coloring, your reading of the thing comes in, gets in the way of you thinking logically about it, and because in that case they probably make up reasons for that, like he only says that to hide his real shame or
yes,
whatever,
yes, that's why. They
stuff
say
like that.
they say
Yeah.
that it's usually like, oh well, he only says that because Japan doesn't like gay people, so
Mm-hmm.
therefore they couldn't be
Yep.
explicit. But
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
mean,
bullshit like that.
like let's do some revisionist fucking thinking here for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just revise the fucking history here.
Mm-hmm.
If that was the case, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying Japan has got a lot of love for people who are gay. I'm not saying that. I'm saying
Um, there are entire genres in anime and manga about gay people.
Oh, well, fuck it, never mind.
There's no problem there, really.
But like,
there has been series like that for ages.
but like, my thing is like, okay, so this
Might not be socially as acceptable, probably. I don't know what's it like now, but at the time for Persona 4, it might have been less socially acceptable, but in media, I don't think there was a big problem there.
But like, my thing is like, okay, so you're telling me that, like, why bother even having it if you're just going to just hand wave it away?
Yeah.
Like, then what's the point? Why would you hit this? Don't have that be as fucking character development. Just don't have it then. That's easy. Just don't have that. You don't have to have that. You could have picked. You created the fucking game, motherfuckers. You could have picked any character development for any of these characters. You chose that to be his development, so why would you... You've gone so far as to have his shadow be seemingly gay. At that point, I don't see why you'd back out of it now. Like,
yeah, because they wouldn't.
Yeah, that's like that doesn't make sense. Why would you?
Yeah.
Why would you get that far and then go, oh shit, we got a gay person in our video game? Better pump the brakes on that shit.
Right.
Better fucking take a step back, ladies and gentlemen. We'd hate for people to get the wrong idea about our fucking video game. Yeah. Yeah, no, Persona brings me a level of rage as much as joy. And I can't wait to do Persona 4, because I'm tearing every single one of you disingenuous fucks apart. And I am doing so with a razor fist-like vengeance.
Yeah. People on both sides of the aisle have just have the wrong idea about Japan, honestly. They're not perfect, but they're far from what people interpret or picture it to be.
Yeah, clearly. Anyways, everybody, I apologize for dragging this show out a solid 10 minutes past. Holy fuck. If you've enjoyed today's show, feel free to listen to us on a variety of podcasting platforms such as Apple, Google, and even Spotify every Sunday, along with our video podcast where you can see our lovely faces as I attempt to not cough my lungs out. Every Sunday, turn-based Cynics. Oh, God. Oh, this is miserable. The show's up every Sunday lest I have to eat a shoe or cough out my lung, whichever one comes first. Probably coughing out my lung, but...
At this point?
It's like a 50-50, man. Anyways, everybody, I hope you all have a fantastic week. I hope those of you who bought The Last of Us Part 1 PC, I hope you're either patient or you got your refund before the 2 hours. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say on it.
I hope they get it fixed faster than with Horizon Zero Dawn back then.
Because you can't leave a review on a game unless you buy it, right? You have to, like, buy the game. You have to own it. Okay, so you don't...
So you can buy it, leave the review, and then refund it if you do it quick enough.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. Yeah, you bought it. I'm assuming you have to log time on it?
Yeah. For the review, it shows how much time you have on the game.
There's a review here with 0.1 hours.
Yeah, you don't have to have a specific amount of time. You probably just have to have it started at least once or something like that, but that's why it automatically shows the time you have on the game at the time of the review and currently.
There you
go. So that people can see what the reference is. Like, for example, if you have a game where you say, not recommended, 200 hours on time.
Not right.
that has happened.
Nah. Not would not buy this game. 275 hours played. Really?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna need you.
That has happened.
I'm gonna need you to cite your sources here, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I got questions
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, the text for those reviews has been longer, but yeah, stuff like that has happened.
Video game caused my marriage to fail. 325 hours.
Add another 0 to that, then it would be more realistic.
No, I think the review would be like, my marriage failed. I played this game, and my bedroom burnt down.
1,500 hours on play.
Yeah, and then it's like your only real option is to then ask, like, okay, are these three things related? Or did these three things happen to you simultaneously? Because that's a lot to fucking digest.
Maybe the wife burnt down the bedroom while leaving.
Yeah. Who knows? You were too busy playing the game. Your wife left, and your bedroom burnt down. I don't fucking. Who knows? Anyways, everybody, I hope you all have a fantastic week.
Don't burn down your bedrooms.
Don't log 1,000 hours in the fucking video game.
Well, depends on the time frame.
Yeah. While your wife
if you do
is
it
leaving.
over years, that's fine.
Yeah. Anyways, everybody, fantastic week. We'll see you all next time. Oh,
See ya.
goodness.